and my comments deal with a different aspect of the national security debate, particularly as it affects volunteers in Australia who are protecting institutions in my electorate and others, and implications of the events that recently happened in Denmark. The Danish Prime Minister, Helle Thorning-Schmidt, led hundreds of mourners recently at the funeral of Dan Uzan, a Danish citizen who was amongst two people killed in a shooting spree in Copenhagen just a few weeks ago. Security was tight at his funeral, the police out in force with sniffer dogs. I want to give him a name. He was an individual, a giant of a man, 6'9", who in -10 degrees stood outside the Copenhagen synagogue protecting a party of 80 12-year-olds, a bat mitzvah. Two drunks, apparent drunks, tried to get in. They got past the police with their machine guns. He refused to let them in. He refused to believe that they were not putting on an act. And his act of incredible bravery led to his being shot in the head by this terrorist, and the police only then waking up themselves, being then shot by these two individuals who got away, one of them later to be shot and killed. The mother of the girl whose bat mitzvah was held that night said, "We feel like Dan stopped the terrorists with his body. He was our hero even before this incident. He was a kind-hearted man, a good soul. Dan and other guards who were there are the true heroes of this incident," Mita Bento said, the mother of Hannah, who was celebrating, as I said, her bat mitzvah with 80 other 12-year-old girls at that synagogue, and was protected by that hero. Also killed in that shooting spree in Copenhagen was Finn Norgard, who was killed at the Copenhagen Cafe earlier, a Danish film director who produced documentaries for Danish television, and in 2004 produced Boomerang Drengen, Boomerang Boy, about an Australian boy's dreams of becoming a world boomerang champion. These events directly affected Australia. I wish the ABC had humanised the victims more, because there are thousands of people every weekend during the week who stand outside, particularly Australian Jewish Insitutions, who are volunteers, who, like Dan Uzan, guard, because of the security circumstances that we live in, institutions from people like this. They don't have, unfortunately, armed police like they do in Europe. Perhaps that's a good thing that the situation isn't as bad in Australia that it demands it. But they have no one to protect them, and I honour their work and understand their fear of the events that happened in those places. I think it's appalling that the ABC had on its Q&A program the execrable woman Margolis, who, of all the actors in Australia, has to be brought on to Q&A to comment on international affairs, and who said quite disgracefully in its program on Monday that anti-Semitism is quite understandable. It's not understandable in any circumstances. The death of those people is not justifiable, Ms Margolis. You are a disgrace, and the ABC is a disgrace for putting you on. 18 months ago, the Abbott opposition agreed with the then Labor government to continue the program of secure schools funding that I initiated with the previous government in 2007. And I'm very grateful that this funding is continued. It's continued in my electorate to millions of dollars. It's absolutely necessary, despite the blandishments and the stupidities of Miriam Margolis and the fools who put her on Q&A and who support her views. These events around the world directly affect us here in Australia. Can you imagine being an unarmed person standing outside the Elwood Synagogue, as they do every week when I see them, a lovely couple of twins who live around the corner, who look after their elderly mother, and their contribution to Australian society is to act as a volunteer to protect their fellow Australians in that institution. I honour them. I honour every person who does that kind of work that Dan Uzan did outside the Copenhagen Synagogue.
Thank you.